Hey guys, welcome back to Magic TV. My name's Craig. It is 9 o'clock on a Sunday. It means it's time for a review show special. Now, this is where I take a deep dive into a particular subject, a particular creator, and I go very, very deep into one particular trick. And today, we're going to be talking about Diminish by Damian Surr, which actually says that this is the ultimate vanishing deck. Now, before we go any further, we're going to have a look at the trailer. Let's have a look at a trailer for Diminish, and then after we've looked at the trailer, I'm going to talk you through what this is. Now, first of all, I want to say thank you to Damian, because you can probably see this has been signed and it says to Craig, thanks for all your support, Damian. He gifted me this at Blackpool, at the Blackpool Magic Convention. I did not pay for this. Normally I pay for everything that I review. I did not pay for this. I've also known Damian for a very long time. That does not mean that I'm going to be biased in this situation. I'm going to tell you exactly what I think of Diminish, and I'm going to be completely and totally honest with you. Now, first of all, what is it? Well, actually, before we even begin, go look at last week's Talk Magic, because on last week's Talk Magic, I actually had a chance to sit down with Damon and actually talk about Diminish and what his process was when he was creating it. You might want to go check that out. The abridged version is he created this for himself. Damon doesn't really create much magic, and when he does, it's something that he spent a long time working in, and he's mainly creating it for himself first, not to market. So he created this for himself, and he was at a gig and he bumped into Nick Einhorn at a trade show, and Nick turned around to him and said, "What's that?" Damon showed it to Nick, and then off the back of that, Nick said, "You need to bring this out at Blackpool, you'll sell a metric ton of them." He then bought this out at Blackpool, and he did sell a metric ton of them. A lot of people were saying this was the trick of Blackpool Magic Convention 2026. Everybody and their mother was buying one of these. And I think one of the reasons that so many people are buying them is because it looks amazing when you see it demoed. Now, Damon entered the Magic Circle Close-Up Magician of the Year and placed, I think, third with this trick. And the only reason he entered the Magic Circle Close-Up Magician of the Year was to actually show this trick to everybody. And it created a real buzz. Lloyd Barnes, my friend Lloyd Barnes, who was a judge at the competition, he raved about this thing. And so did David Penn, who was there as well. And for good reason, because this looks great. So he calls it the Ultimate Vanishing Deck. What this is basically, it is a gimmick. And it is a gimmick that doesn't take up much space at all. It's about that much. And what it is, it's a gimmick that you have in your pocket. And as long as you have that gimmick in your pocket, you can add it to a deck. And it will allow you to create a way of making it look like a deck vanishes in slow motion. That's basically effectively what it is. It makes it look like a deck vanishes in slow motion. Now, I'm going to show you a performance of me doing this just to camera now. And I'm doing it sitting down. So I forced a card on Michael earlier on, and I forced the Jack of Diamonds, and I've got this set up with the Jack of Diamonds in place, just to be completely transparent with you. That is not how you would do it at a gig. You could do it at a gig if you wanted to that way, but the way that Damon suggests doing it at a gig is by basically, he's got some incredible advice on the tutorial. He's got some incredible ideas of how you can have what am I trying to say? He's got some incredible ideas of how you can actually kind of ditch the deck ditch the... if you're doing a trick with a regular deck of cards, he's got multiple different handlings and multiple different ways of having that deck rung out and having the Diminish gimmick rung in without anybody realizing anything's happening. But I don't need to do that on this. I just want you to see what the actual vanish of the deck looks like. So let's have a look at a performance of that right now. Just a very quick vanish of the deck so you can see what it looks like, and then we'll talk about the practicalities. Okay, I've got Michael behind the camera. Michael, this is what a deck of 52 playing cards looks like. Yeah. I'm giving you a reference point because in a second every single one of these cards but one is going to disappear. Okay. I asked you to think of a card earlier. You thought of a card, right? Yeah. Was your card a red card or a black card? It was red. Watch the 52 cards, because you see if I give a little shake, what happens is 52 cards are no longer there. 26 cards have vanished. Look, we've only got 26 left now. Yeah, what? Let's do it again. I made all of the back cards disappear. Was your card a heart or a diamond? It was a diamond. Look right there as I give it one shake and you'll see there's all of those hearts vanish. That leaves us with just the diamonds. 13 cards. What was your card? The jack. Okay, so I have to make the ace, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 vanish. The queen, the king vanish. And if magic was real, it would look something like that. That, my friend, is the jack of diamonds. And that is a miracle. So that's effectively what Diminish looks like. Now, I actually said to Damon when I first saw it, it reminds me of something that I saw Garrett Thomas do years ago that he included on his L&L DVD set, where he had this wonderful way of vanishing a deck of cards in slow motion. And he was using sleight of hand and very clever techniques to make it look like a deck was there, whilst in reality it wasn't there. The Diminish gimmick allows you to do that with almost no sleight of hand. It's a very, very easy tool to use. Now, there have been a couple of different variations of this through the years. Nick Einhorn has brought something out, and obviously the initial inspiration to this was Level 1 by Christian Grace and Vanishing Ink. What Diminish allows you to do is it allows you to take a deck of cards, and rather than just have half the deck vanish, it allows you to make it go in stages. So first of all, it looks like a full deck, then it looks like a half deck, then it looks like a quarter of a deck, and then it looks like there's only one card left. And when you turn that card round, it's actually their card. Now, Damon typically does this at the end of a multiple selection routine, which he teaches. So you learn the multiple selection routine. It typically does it at the end of it. That's what he did in his Magic Circle Competition Act, because he's got some very clever misdirection on the penultimate card on his multiple selection routine that allows you to get into position for Diminish relatively easily and very deceptively. So I typically am using this at the end of a multiple selection routine as well. If you don't know what multiple selection routine is, the idea is you get multiple people in the audience to pick cards and you find each card in a different way. And typically with a multiple selection routine, you want to have a big finish at the end with the final card. Obviously with Diminish, the big finish is every single card in the pack vanishes, except for one card, which is the card that the spectator has picked, and the entire rest of the deck has vanished, which is an amazing ending to a multiple selection. And I used to end my multiple selection routine just by ditching the deck in my back pocket, holding that single card as if it was still a deck, and then going boom and vanishing the cards all in one go. Diminish allows me to do that in a way that looks even more impossible because it's slow motion. Now, I will say on that, when I first got this, I questioned whether this was any good. I didn't question whether it looked good. I thought to myself, I said, self, this is good, but is it any better than just ditching a deck in your back pocket, which I've done for years, and then just showing that the cards have vanished? So you've got one card here, they think it's a deck, and then boom, showing the cards have vanished. Because that would be a simpler thing to do. And the answer is yes, this does look more deceptive because it's a very slow motion vanish. It looks more deceptive. That is a big tick. That is a 100% definitely looks better. However, when I watched the tutorial and I learned how to use this gimmick, getting set up in a position where you've got Diminish in place is actually really simple to do. Whether you're doing it at the end of a multiple selection routine, or you're doing it as an opening routine, or you're doing it whatever way that you want to do it in. I've been playing around with having a deck of cards out, bringing the box out, bringing out a deck of cards, taking them out of the box, putting the box down to one side, having someone pick a card, doing some fancy stuff with it, and then having the deck vanish in slow motion, just leaving the card. and then the cards have gone back into the deck that's on the cards have gone back into the box that's on the table from the beginning. And when I bring those cards out, now I've switched in a mem deck. So now I'm in mem deck position, even though up until that point, the spectator was shuffling the cards and mixing the cards. And that's a really nice way to use this as well. If you are half creative, you're going to come up with some really cool ways to be able to do this. Questions you need to answer, or you need to have the answer to. Number one, is it hard wearing? Is it going to last? Yes, it is very well made. Two, is it easy to do? It's going to require some practice. It's not completely self-working. You are going to need to vanish a deck. Unless you're doing this on social media, kind of like I did, where you've already got it set up and you're just going into the vanish, you are going to need to ditch a deck, which is not difficult, but Damon's going to go into that. But it is definitely attainable by everybody. What are the angles like? The angles are pretty good if you are doing this walk around. If you're at a table, that you have to be a little bit more cozy. Not impossible, but for me, this is a walk around piece. For me, this is a mix and mingle piece. For me, this is a piece that I would either perform mix and mingle, or maybe on stage potentially, but definitely a mix and mingle piece. What are the that's the angles. And what's the reset like? Pretty much instant. The reset's pretty much instant. Would I, is it examinable? Yes. When you're left with one card, it's examinable. You are left something in your hand, but nobody's looking there, and it's very easy to ditch that thing. What's the pocket space like? The pocket space is really good. It doesn't take up much pocket space at all. And what's the price like? The price is very good, considering you're getting a custom designed gimmick that's going to allow you to do everything that you need to do. The bottom line is, this is an exceptional way to vanish a deck of cards. In fact, I would agree that this is the best slow motion deck vanish that I have ever seen. You know, there's other deck vanishes out there that go in slow motion. Evaporate by Henry Ferris is really, really good. What this has got going for it is that you're left with that one card that is a regular card. It can be examined, something like Evaporate can't. And this can be signed. It can be a signed card if you want it to be. There are more options open to you than using Vanish and Evaporate and all those others. I love this. I think it's really good. I definitely am going to do this. In fact, it's already in my close-up case, and I have been working it in gigs. Damon is a real-world working magician, and this is designed for real-world working magicians. This gets 99% for me. I think it's absolutely amazing. Currently, you could only get this from Damian himself, so you need to go to Ginger Effects. That's Ginger, Ginger, Effects, EFFECTS. .com, I think, might be .co.uk, but I'm pretty sure it's .com. Go there and you're going to be able to pick it up. Damon says it's going to be wholesaled at some point in the future, but when that is, we don't know. So if you want to buy it right now, it's only from Damon, and he can ship worldwide. 98%, 99%. I love this. I think this is the best slow motion vanishing deck that I have ever seen. So there you go, guys. That's another video in the bag. Thank you once again for joining me on Magic TV. Now, don't forget, you want to see more videos like this, like the video, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment down below. I'm going to be back again tomorrow with another video. So make sure you look out for that video tomorrow. If you haven't seen the Q&A from earlier on today, check out the Q&A. I'll be back again very, very soon. Join the Netrix, which is my online streaming platform for magicians, and I'll see you again soon. My name's Craig. You've been watching Magic TV.